All right, we are live. At least that's what Google says. Welcome, everybody, for this Stank Toss. It's Friday for this Labor Day holiday weekend special, I suppose. We'll have different topics for tonight. It is a Labor Day weekend here in the States. Those of you who celebrate the weekend, please be safe. Don't text and drive. Don't drink and drive, of course. The police will be out there. Yep. Getting all my notes and news items ready for this evening. And we will talk a little bit more. Matthew Moore, everybody please say hello to my good friend Matthew Moore. We haven't chatted in a while. Daniel, welcome. How you doing, Matthew? Present arms. Noah, hello. Mic check, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, it looks good on my end. Steve Gunnick, well, a lot of Steves in the house. Well, Steve's a good name. Ben, hello. Beautiful sunny day today. Absolutely stunning. And we'll talk about it some more, but I picked up a refurbished Nexus 6P in gold, as you see there. I haven't activated it yet. I want to make sure everything works and all that. Beautiful phone. I paid about $130. You don't need to spend $1,000 for a phone. In fact, this phone holds up pretty good to a $1,000 iPhone based on the test that I have seen, believe it or not. So we'll talk about that also. I did hear Spatry is back next month, I think. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's next month. So all right, those of you, I've heard of Zenfone, Matthew. Yeah, is that a good phone? Mine was unlocked. I'm assuming it's GSM and CDMA or just GSM. I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm going to wait another day or two, make sure it's okay, then probably activate it. I'm not sure which service yet. But everything appears to be working on a beautiful screen. Absolutely stunning. You can't really see that well, or can you? But it's a beautiful screen. Phone is 3 years old. It's a good phone. GSM dual SIM. Okay. Cool. Yeah, mine might be GSM, but I think the Nexuses were either GSM or CDMA, if I recall. Robert posted second week of September. Oh, for Spatry, okay. I will invite a few guests on for this evening. Matthew, if you want to join, here, I'll post my email here. If you want to join on the chat, Matthew, you're more than welcome to send me an email at totalostday1@gmail.com. I'll send you a link to the chat. Ben, okay. Let me get situated here. Check my email. Different topics for tonight. Mr. G, welcome. Before I forget, thank you all of the Patreon and PayPal supporters of the channel. I don't have a topic yet for the next private chat. Dan, I got your email about it. If you guys have any possible topics or suggestions for the next private chat, post them here in the chat or in the comments below once this thing is over with, or just send me an email if you want to. Okay, but I do not have a topic yet. All right. KO 2610, welcome. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. There's one there. Okay. Daniel, check your email if you want to join. Um, yeah, thank you for smashing the like button. Don't smash it with the hammer. Steve's very own, do you want to join the chat? Okay. Alan Rocco. Dan Simmons, if you want to join, let me know. Just send me an email. All right. Matthew, okay, got your email. Give me a second. There you go, Matthew. Switch to Linux, okay. All right. Hi, bud. Anna Rita. Hello, darling. How are you? How do you like my shirt? I've worn this before. Am I showing too much skin? Still warm. Hi, Mugen. Hi, Jan. I love that name, Executioner. I guess you like eggs. So do I. Executioner. I love it. That would be a great name for like a Halo gamer tag, you know. Kenny Whitten, Matthew Moore, the king of dual boot. I think I am personally, but I'm not debating. Matthew knows his stuff, but I think I'm the king. Hi, Heather. How are you? How's things this evening? All right, G. Mr. G. Good. Steven Anderson. A lot of Steves. Still dual booting Windows 10 and Manjaro. Yeah. Yes, Matthew is great at Linux. Speak of the devil. What's up, Matt?
Hey.
We'll wait for the other people to join in, and we'll get to some of the topics.
What's up, Matt? Not much. I got kind of a thing going on over here.
I see you're working on a mock-up of the Bridge of the Enterprise, huh? Okay, all the emails have been sent, so check your emails, guys, and jump on, and we'll get started with the show. Sorry for the delay, but I wasn't sure who was going to be on and be available for the holiday weekend, so anyway. Man, I thought I sent it. Let me see. Give me a second here. Yeah, there you are. All right, let's try it. Okay. All right, Dan Simmons, hang on. There we go. Mr. G, holiday weekend. Yeah, it's the not Memorial. This is Labor Day weekend. Yes, Mr. G. Yes. So be safe out there. I usually drive, so I usually don't drink more than one drink. I usually have a White Russian. The drink, not the girl. Just want to make sure.
Hey, man.
Nothing against Russians. Hello there, Ricky. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm running Ubuntu 18.04.1 with Unity on my laptop.
Nice. Unity still nice. Timo, welcome, is in the house. Timo, you're welcome to join if you want to. If you're tired, don't worry about it.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, you guys.
Hello, Ben. I see you and Matt were working on the painting the thing Linux. I mean Arch. I may download it and take a crack at it.
You should, TOS. We need all the publicity.
Only if it's really user friendly. If it's not,
Look,
forget about it.
Look, it's
a few things
dude,
to be fixed, but
yeah. There's still a couple of quirks we need to work out, but
should I wait then, or should I wait till you tell me it's safe?
It should be fine.
Okay.
There's only like 2 files that got misplaced and etc. But and there's still but the installer works fine. It's really super simple. Just all the prompts. I'm gonna make a YouTube tutorial for it a little bit later tonight, maybe tomorrow. But I have a cookout that I'm going to with a friend tomorrow. But But I'm gonna make a tutorial one way or the other.
Okay, well, as long as I can install it, is it safe to boot off a USB to try out?
Sure, of course. Just write it with Etcher or your favorite USB stick tool.
there's a
All right. I mean, as long as I can do that, I'll give it a fair shot. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Heather says once Tim F has been in the hospital. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Tim, if you watching this or will watch it, I didn't know. I hope you're okay.
Hope you're okay, dude.
Last time we spoke, you didn't say anything, so hope it's not serious. He's getting out soon, Heather. Everybody, please say hello and well wishes for Tim F.
Get well, brother.
Yeah, Tim, we miss you.
Yeah, man. I wondered why I haven't heard, and Tim F, let me know. Send me an email if you can. And absolutely, I did not know. I know he was getting off and on, I think some colds or headaches or stuffy nose, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, Tim F, please get well soon. Oh, he's getting out today, Heather was saying. Okay, all right.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Well,
very good. Okay.
Get well, Tim. Get a lot of rest, drink fluids, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes. Let's see. We're missing Dan Simmons. Check your email.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing fine, Ricky. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm trying out Ubuntu 18.04.1 on my laptop with Unity.
Sounds good.
It seems to be functioning very well.
I kind of miss Unity in a way. I mean, the official Unity from from Canonical, but
well, this is what I'm thinking, Carmine. I think once support for Unity runs out, I think it's most likely going to become a flavor.
I don't know.
Man, we got a whole boatload of people this evening.
Hello, Dan.
Yeah, hello.
Greetings, all.
Greetings.
We are waiting for Switch to Linux to join, and then we'll get into the topics. Steve Gunnick.
The Fire Master is coming.
I have some test results from a couple of video editors. They're kind of outstanding.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Jeff L. Pearson, the second, is in the house. He likes Unity. Very good.
I tried not long ago the newest release of Debian. Compared to its last update, they've actually improved it a lot. It's much faster than it used to be, and they definitely took out that data collection tool that was in the store. Debian is definitely safe now.
Okay. I will not try
pretty
Debian.
distribution.
I won't try Debian either.
There's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I tried it twice, like several years ago. It was a disaster. Never again. Never, ever again. I'm done. So.
Just like Manjaro.
Well, I mean, Matthew Moore knows more about it than I do. It did not work for me 2 years ago. It got all forked up, as it were. And it was a full install test. I gave it my best shot. And it stopped updating. It got slower. I mean, I was able to fix this, fix that, but I'm like, no. But we'll talk about that tonight if Matthew wants to fill in. If it's gone better or worse, or it's still not for newbies. Yeah.
Infinite Galactic, he did a nice review on it.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
Trinity PC Linux is really nice looking. Whoever did all the icons and stuff in there, I believe Present Arms has been working with that project.
That is a fast desktop environment, the one that I tested. It zips. Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty
Hi,
much,
Don.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's
very
pretty
fast.
much just as fast as at Q4OS.
Greetings.
All right.
Hello,
Switch.
Fire Master.
How are you?
I am well. We are.
So yeah, Tom, we are greeted by the gracious Matthew Moore for this show.
I know, Matthew. How you been? We haven't chatted in a
Me
while.
or the sound mess up?
I don't know why I'm suddenly so special, but I've been
We're all special here.
Dude, do you know how popular the hell you are on YouTube? Come on.
Well, we've chatted. Well, we
mean,
haven't chatted this year. It's been a while, but yeah.
Matt, you're more popular than I am on YouTube. Come on, man.
Oh man! All right, I think everybody I send invitations to is supposed to be here is here. So welcome all in the chat, and of course my friends here, all of my co-hosts. Again, thank you all the supporters of the channel. If you have any suggestions for the next private chat supporters through Patreon or PayPal, let me know, and we'll do a private chat.
I want to know
All
how
right.
to better my workflow. I got 3 different.
That looks nice, man. That looks
cool.
yeah.
That looks like a war room.
Well,
The war
desktop, laptop, another laptop, another laptop. They're all going at the
No,
same.
man, that's like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise when it first started out, man. You know.
Okay, here's my current war room.
There we go.
And I got a laptop over here and stuff. So.
Well, I got one 32-inch monitor here, and it's big as, and I had turned the brightness down and kind of sit back like this, 'cause it's right here, you know. So
Hey,
PC TLC, hello.
Hey, Tom.
It's not turned on, but I got a Raspberry Pi over there.
Oh, stop showing off.
Your war room, Tom, is what I like to call the free screens of doom.
Yeah.
If that ain't bad, I got 10 friggin' computers in my house. Too many.
Well,
Oh my
I got
goodness.
7.
In my office.
At this point, I have solid hardware, but
I
it's
got
all-
5, not
Well,
counting
yeah.
tablets.
I got 2 right there. Can you see those 2 hanging out right there?
Hmm.
And then the other one's on here. The Raspberry Pi's downstairs. Sorry.
Steve's
want to
very
talk
own
about
audio issues. Make sure you're using
on the
Google
back of the
Chrome.
couch, and there's a
I'm
stack
using
of tablets on the corner of that table back there. I still have a BlackBerry Playbook, so I mean,
Nice.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
All right, Matthew. Manjaro. Fill me in. Should I take another crack or forget about it?
I don't know. I have mixed opinions because I hear a lot of good things from users, but personally, I'm having hardware compatibility problems.
Okay. Okay.
So
Um,
I'm kind of on the fence.
Okay. What happened to me 2 years ago, I think it was XFC. That's the flagship, right? Still
Yeah.
from Manjaro? Okay.
XFC's
I
flagship.
installed it in an old ThinkPad. I think it has like 2 gigs, and it was fine. I think the issue was, well, I knew I was in trouble when I couldn't play a freaking music CD. And of course, Battery says, well, who plays CDs nowadays? That's not the point. I fixed that. Fixed some other things, but then the updates just stopped. Fixed that. Then it got slow. It was one thing after another, and that's when I stopped. I gave it a fair shake. I gave it a fair shot. And then I gave up. Now, is it better now? I don't know.
A few months ago, I tried it, and the updates is what destroyed it.
Okay. Okay.
And I didn't know how to fix it.
All right. To be fair, it is a rolling release, so it's cutting edge, and you will get
It
cut.
rolled right
so.
out of my computer.
It rolled right out.
They're in on the right?
That's what a lot of people do say that it breaks on update, and I've used it for a while. Didn't have any issues, but
Okay.
I never ran into that issue. But a lot of people say that's the case.
What was the issue that I have with Manjaro, and this is coming from a person that has a Manjaro respin. There's things in Manjaro that are broken that just aren't a problem on stock Arch Linux. They do some, I don't know what they do to it, but they change certain things to put their own branding on it, to do their own configs, and then, upstream, packages come in and things break.
Okay.
And I'm like on this HP now,
Yes.
they used to use GFX boot on the live CD, and then they changed to their Grub 2 with custom profiles. It hasn't been able to boot on my machine ever since they did that. So.
Okay. Okay. Maverick LSC says, TOS, have you ever distro hopped prior to settling with Ubuntu Mate? Are you kidding me? I don't have over 2,000 videos for a reason. Yes, you think distro hop, distro 2B was nothing compared to what I did, but at some point I had to stop, and I settled on Ubuntu Unity and Linux Mint. I still have Linux Mint. When Canonical stopped officially any more future, releases of Unity, that's when I went to Ubuntu Mate. But yeah, I used to have stacks of like bootable CDs.
I still do.
Yeah. But that's how I learned. I was pretty much all self-taught with some help,
I gave a big chunk of them to Ben.
Yeah.
Steve's very own. You're having issues with Chrome audio. Did you try refresh or try rebooting?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
I guess you can hear me. You guys are just breaking up like crazy.
Really?
I'm just going to reboot because I can see it's going
Okay.
on. So I'll be back.
Okay. All right, cool. Steven Anderson is on Manjaro because it has the latest kernels. He's using Ryzen 3 Polaris graphics. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I gave Manjaro a fair shot for I think it was 2 months. I think my favorite joke of Manjaro, if I recall, I turned on the AUR, right, the Arch user repository, and it came up, warning, this could like blow up your system or something. You know what I mean, right? So I did a review on that, and I said I saw that came up, but I came prepared, and I grabbed a fire extinguisher just in case it got So Spatry emails me back, you do not need a fire extinguisher, use Manjaro. I couldn't resist, so anyway.
Well, when it comes to my desktop, Linux Mint Mate's been so good to me. It has really good compatible with my hardware. I'm sticking with this. I don't think I'm going to distro hop for a little while.
As far as rolling releases, I've had good luck with one long term, and that's PC Linux OS. I don't know why exactly, but it works pretty good, or it worked. I don't know about now, but yeah. Any thoughts on PC Linux OS?
Present Arms says it's an independent distro, but originally it was a fork from Mandrake Linux.
They use, is it RPM package?
They do use.
I don't know what. That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out is what
Okay,
commands to use at the command line.
Okay. All I know is
Yeah.
I had the one of the community editions, the lightweight LXD or something, and it was really solid.
Yeah, I couldn't get
Before
sudo
rolling.
to run in it.
Yeah.
I had to use SU for
Yeah.
some of the things to get it to work.
RPM Present Arms. Okay, thank you.
I think back in the day, one of the best looking Linux desktops was the Rosa desktop when they were doing their own desktop.
I have heard of it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know if they're even doing that anymore because it was based on KDE4. But
I
that was
don't know.
probably the best looking Linux desktop I've come across.
PC TLC. I did try the Trinity desktop. I thought it flew absolutely. It didn't look like much in terms of fonts and graphics, but it absolutely flew. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
very
Tom.
snappy.
Yep.
How's Deepin for you?
It's not on yet. I'm still on Solus right now, so I'm thinking I'll
okay.
probably do that. I might do that this weekend. I'm not sure. I have one video that's been sitting in my outbox to process and release. I'll probably do that on Sunday, and
Okay.
then I'll get Deepin. Maybe I'll do Deepin on Tuesday. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Let's go to some other topics. So Matt, you were saying as far as Manjaro, it's still a hit and miss.
Yeah, well, if you go on the forums, you
Yeah.
have people that just praise it and think it's the best distro ever. I used to be one of those people.
Okay.
Other people have a completely different experience, but I guess that's just the nature of
Okay.
a release,
So what's your favorite one now? I mean, as far as Linux distro.
I'm distro hopping at the moment because my printer failed and I had to get a new printer, and I'm having some hardware compatibility issues. So I'm
Okay.
starting to move back towards Debian and the Ubuntu platform.
Debian stable. I've tested. It is stable. Absolutely.
back
It's
up right now.
not for beginners, but that's what you have. Okay. All right.
I got Clonezilla running here. Once
Okay.
that's done, I'm probably going to do a Debian install.
As far as printers go, I've had the best luck with HP. I have here to the to my right.
Me too.
Yeah, I've had very good luck.
My HP all-in-one is like ancient.
I've had and also Epson. The worst luck probably Canon, I think.
I think that's very because it seems like my experience is always the opposite of everybody else's. The 8 printers have been the absolute worst for me in both Linux, Windows, you name it. The printers that I buy, I like the Epson Workforce printers, but I always get the older models, and when I go to the store to buy them, they discontinued that item because nobody wanted it. And I'm like, these are always the machines that I pick. I always seem to choose the ones that nobody else likes. So I don't know.
Well, I've tested Epson, Lexmark, Canon, HP. Canon was definitely the worst in trying to get drivers for it, but HP smooth, yeah.
Well, one issue that I had with HP is the HP LIP driver system. It was using the color cartridge for everything, even black. It was pulling it color cartridge.
Yep.
So I would print 5 pages of text and I'd be out of ink.
Jeez.
So
yeah.
So
I refuse to spend $40-50 for ink. I'd rather just buy a new printer once a year.
Yeah. Have drivers. The older workforce printers like I have, they have drivers supplied by their website specifically for Linux, and they were working perfectly fine up until I think about a year ago. Ubuntu and Debian, they pulled the LSB package out of their system, and that package was used as a dependency for those drivers. So that kind of made everything stop working. And now with the newer driverless IPP printing, now everything is working great again.
Okay.
So
it sounds like that's a hit and miss also, right, Matthew?
Yeah.
I use Brother printers, which sometimes you fight with them, sometimes you don't. But the reason I use Brother printers is because they're not stupid with ink. They're not stupid with the details. I can go into it and I can say, keep printing even if you think you're out of ink. It'll keep going. And they have good driver support for Linux.
I've had the cartridges dry up, and I ran it under hot water, and I got them working again. But they dry up kind of quickly.
I don't use inkjet. I don't use inkjet for anything. It is cheaper to go down to the store and pay for copies than to use an inkjet printer.
Yeah, I don't use my printer that much.
It costs me more gasoline.
Nowadays, I know, really.
Already, because I mean, we all have places we need to go.
Yeah,
so, if I need something printed, I mean, I'll go down and do book cover print-offs. Particularly because I need to use, big.
Well, there's an Office Max here within walking distance, so yeah.
I got a Epson printer in my mother and father's room, and that printer with all my Linux computers, it has worked like a charm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a really cheap Xerox black and white laser printer, and that just seems to work in every distro that I've tried. So,
which distro do you use now, Dan?
I'm in Manjaro, but yeah, I'll agree with you. It's not for everybody. That's for sure. Yeah, I've had a couple of breakages where I had to fix them.
Okay.
About Manjaro is I honestly think that it was more stable back when it was still a beta.
Yeah. I've tried Manjaro as well. I've tried it in every possible form you can imagine. It just hasn't worked for me.
We mentioned Debian, this stable branch. It's not the latest software, but it is stable, at least in my tests in the past. And maybe that's all people need.
Debian is solid as a rock.
Yeah.
Well, the downside to Debian is it does not ship with any closed source driver or anything like that.
No.
Yes.
So if you have a computer that has Broadcom chips in it or something that you want to use, NVIDIA graphics drivers or something like that, it's probably a little difficult for a new user to get into.
Yes, I agree.
It's
not as hard as Arch, but yeah. Yeah.
So I would say you probably want to start with some Ubuntu-based and work backwards towards that.
Yes.
I've always liked Ubuntu. Ubuntu for me has always been rock solid. I can always rely on it. Any form of Ubuntu for me has worked.
Okay.
I've had a lot of problems with the 1604 release of
You know,
and crashing of the desktop.
It's so unpredictable because I had 1604 installed in 2 machines, and for me, again, it was the opposite. One of the most solid experiences on 2 desktops. I was stunned.
I'm having the same thing.
I was on 1804 recently, and I was trying to do the live stream that you saw the other day when we were building the Arch distro. And I couldn't get OBS to run on the laptop under Ubuntu. Every time I tried to launch it, it would say
that's weird.
GPU incompatible, and it would just shut it down. But I put I put a different distro on there, and it worked.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's kind of hit and miss all over.
I've had the best luck with Ubuntu Unity, Linux Mint, both 18 and 19, and the latest Ubuntu. Haven't noticed anything major, at least nothing that affects my workflow, either the recording, the stream, or the editing. Kdenlive. Now, Kdenlive occasionally crashes, but it's not as much as in the past. Now, I downloaded the app image for Kdenlive, and it seems a little bit more stable.
I have kind of an explanation for that.
Okay.
Okay, I did some comparison tests. I went and got some YouTube videos, and I got about 15 minutes of them, 3 of them, and I put them in Kdenlive and fired it up. And there's a section in the settings for the number of processor cores you want to allocate to actually glue your video all together. But there's a little thing that says, if you go greater than 1, it's experimental.
That's what I don't like,
Okay. So I opened up HTOP and I tried to put these videos together. It ran for 20 minutes to do a 12-minute video. Okay, so I opened up OpenShot and tried the same thing with that editing program. And immediately when I fired that up, to glue all 3 of them videos together, the fan on my CPU climbed to maximum power. All my processes, all 16 of them went from the floor to the ceiling. That video was done in 3 minutes.
How was the size, quality, etc.? And the reason I ask is because Kdenlive is a lot more advanced, and there's a lot that you can do tinkering with it to make sure you can run it faster in Kdenlive, but you get a bigger file. And you can take the same exact everything, you can run it slow in Kdenlive, and you'll get a very high quality but low size file. So did you do a file size comparison?
I was using 1070p files. I made sure that they were all the same size and shape and quality and stuff like that. And I glued them together so I wouldn't have shifts in the dimensions.
Yeah, what I'm saying is look at the final rendered file. The final rendered file may be different size depending on what you're doing. Because you can run it with the same settings, almost the same settings, and it'll run more time or less time. But as it does so Kdenlive, I specifically set mine to take longer because you get a smaller size of file.
Right.
So
I'm checking them right this minute. And they're real close. They're at a gig, and gig 0.2 is one and a gig 0.4 is the other one.
Okay, and how is the quality playing them back?
It's identical as the original video.
Okay. All right.
To me, Kdenlive, of all the Linux video processors, I'm sorry, the editors, Kdenlive, and I'll take that back. It's a tie between Kdenlive and Shotcut have been the most stable. Now, Shotcut is cross-platform, and Kdenlive is in beta for the Windows. But if you start talking strictly Linux, Kdenlive to me has been the most stable. The rest of them have been atrocious in my tests. But
yeah, I have 0 problems with Kdenlive as long as you got past that one unstable one which shipped with Linux Mint 17.
Well, the biggest issue I have with Kdenlive is people tell me that it's too slow. Well, there's this process called melt that runs in the background, and that process is the one that keeps your processor, the one core, slammed to the ceiling, while the other ones are doing nothing but other tasks.
But you have to allocate the other cores. Obviously.
They don't turn on. At least in my machine, they don't.
Well, to render it, you have to turn on that experimental button. The thing with the experimental button is you can't edit the video with it, but once you're done editing the video, you save the file, you turn down that experimental, shut the thing down, open it back up, then render, and then you have to turn it back off.
Wow.
It's because it's experimental. What they're doing is they're trying to build multi-core functionality into the rendering process better.
Right, and that's what I'm experiencing. I'm not talking strictly about rendering here of 3 files and some testing. Nothing real deep as far as, you know, cutting them up.
I mean, part of that too is the kind of machine, the card for the graphics card and the process. I mean, it all adds up. It really does. So, you know.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, not only for programs, but for Linux in general. I mean, Linux still struggles with a lot of hardware incompatibilities.
This is something that we've talked about in the past about, quote, having, quote unquote, a Linux standard, and some people you know, on the blog said it's impossible. Well, it is possible. Android is a Linux standard. Chromebooks is a Linux standard.
Chromebooks are doing very well. Their sales have gone up. And
absolutely,
like me and you talked before, Google is up to something besides the Chromebooks.
I think Linux in general has missed the boat, starting from the gaming aspect, and we'll talk about that next. But more so the last 2-3 years with the Windows 10, you know, controversy and the privacy and all that. Man, I mean, if Google would have announced a mass-marketed Linux desktop at the same time, Windows users were stuck with those forced updates and upgrades, and somebody would have said, hey, don't worry about that, try the ABC Linux from Google, people would have switched immediately.
I mean, the forced updates is the main reason why people are going to Linux in the first place. If Microsoft never done the forced updates in the first place, they wouldn't be in the position they are.
Well, Google has a history of not following through on certain things. They'll have an excellent idea, but they won't follow through on it. The Chromebook is an example of that, and they're working on Fuchsia OS now, which is supposed to replace both Android and Chrome.
A lot of them issues come from allocating the money at the boardroom when everybody's sitting there and trying to get everybody on board.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm on a Chromebook right now, and it's great for what it is, but the problem is that this machine here just got the Android app support last year. It took forever to get it. I had an early model Chromebook, the Acer C720. I had no complaints, but that one wasn't on the list to receive the Android app support, so I purchased this one because it was on the list, and it still took me a year and a half before it actually happened. They just, Google, they start off with something great, but they don't follow through, at least typically.
So in your experience, generally, are the Chromebooks stable, Matt?
Oh yeah, they're really their functionality is limited because it's an internet device, right? So so the functionality is limited, but it is virtually a trouble-free device. I mean, the updates happen seamlessly. With Android app integration, you have a lot of ability that you didn't originally have with Chrome OS with media things. But if you do get a newer Chromebook, because they're shipping with Android app support, you really should get a touchscreen. This one here doesn't have a touchscreen, and I'm finding that it's a bit of a problem with a lot of the Android apps that I try to run. But for the most part, I really don't have much to complain about with the Chromebook.
Nice. And they start like a couple $100, right? Or sometimes even less on sale, right?
Yeah, well, this model was $199 brand new. My last one I got for $99 back when Best Buy was doing that trade-in program.
I remember.
Like an XP machine or something. They'll give you a $5 voucher towards a new machine. I used that and paid $99 for my last one. So
I remember. What a steal, right? Yeah,
sure. I paid that for my stupid Android tablet.
The problem is Android. The problem is marketing. I think Google's marketing is wrong because people will go to places like Best Buy and buy a Chromebook because it's cheaper, thinking it's a normal laptop like they're used to.
Right. Yeah.
Figure out, oh, well, where's the Microsoft
Right.
Office?
Yeah.
Here's this, and then they get upset with it and bring it back.
Right. Yeah.
I think there needs to be better marketing as to what the device is actually.
Like Google needs to do what Apple does, where they have Apple authorized salespeople in Best Buy stores to sell the Apple products, and the Best Buy employees are not allowed to go over there.
Yeah.
And if they did that, it'd be better.
I was in Best Buy looking at Apple products, and some guy came over, and he's trying to tell me about the machine. And I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Oops.
So,
All right, let's go into the next topic.
Oh, TOS, before you do that, I have
go ahead.
something my dad gave me. Look, a Galaxy S7 Edge.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, well, I still got my Nexus XP in gold.
I got a...
Well, TOS, you were asking.
Yeah. What do you got, Matt?
And it has this little porthole window. You tap twice on it.
Oh, that's a Zen? Zen?
No, they're almost dead. And you get calendar, call contacts, and stuff right there.
Nice, that looks sweet. Yeah, nice.
You don't have to open the phone to answer it.
Okay, you win.
Wow.
This phone was
He's got the kick-ass phone.
$199 brand new. Tom gave me this. Tom Prokus gave me this one. I have another one over there, a little older model.
How are the specs on the Zen phone? Solid?
This one, I'd say at this point, this one's kind of on the middle, in the middle of the road, maybe to the lower side.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a couple of years old. It's old.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the price is right though for the amount of money you pay for these. You get a lot.
Right. Hi, Colin. Welcome.
Hi guys. Have I got sound?
All right. We'll talk about the smartphones here in a second. Let's go into some gaming news. I was asked, I think it was last week, about the latest Linux gaming thing with Microsoft gaming and all that. I read something about it, and I think what they're trying to do, well, first of all, some history. I think it was back in 2012, 2013, where Valve announced, Steam OS, right? Steam boxes, somewhere around there. After I read that, I predicted, and I was wrong, that gaming would be the future of Linux. But it seems like after that announcement, there was crickets, there was silence. I'm not sure what happened. Now, they're going to use some kind of forking with Wine. So,
it's called
wait a minute.
It's called Proton.
Right. But they're using Wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the future of Linux gaming is Microsoft. Wonderful. That's how I read it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's the case, Linux is on the wrong track completely.
Look at it at this point of
completely.
view.
You know.
They've already made a ton of games already that are out there. They just want to make them work in Linux. And in the future, they may compile them for both Windows and Linux, besides that.
You're not going to convince Windows gamers that way. I've tried Wine. It has never, ever worked for me. Never, at least the way I wanted to. Never.
But the
Zero.
Wine, but they use the Wine TOS. They use the Wine to build it into that. They make its own wrapper for each game, I believe.
Yeah,
I think that's how it works in the Proton.
It's built right into Steam, and I think by doing that, the user doesn't know the difference. They'll never see that.
No,
and they're not using Wine in this new release. They're forking part of it and then combining other things in from Vulkan. They're basically customizing it for each type of game it is.
Right.
And basically, if the developer uses Vulkan, it'll just work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that didn't happen with me on my HP laptop, guys. I tried like 3 different games, like KOTOR, Jade Empire, and Mass Effect. None of those 3 games worked for me at all. KOTOR didn't even play. I hit the play button. It loaded, but it didn't play. It crashed when I hit the play button, so that was kind of an understatement.
All I know is if Linux wants to be a leader, then lead. Don't follow.
Right.
Don't follow Microsoft.
Right, and then Jade Empire had nothing but laggy graphics.
I don't think they're following Microsoft though in what they're doing. They're simply making Microsoft crap work.
Right.
But I think that they still do have a focus of telling people, hey, get stuff on here on Linux.
Yeah, I think if we get more people using it, then you'll see the developers make the games for Linux.
I don't think they can lead in this situation because the problem is their hands are tied when it comes to games anyway. It depends on the game manufacturers whether they're going to make it available yet, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, they're using existing games and trying to make them work on Linux. And I think maybe that's because they're testing the waters.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they're gonna get their Steam OS, running that stuff, and they'll pull everybody using their Steam box.
Well, and just problems with Linux is the same thing that makes Linux good. It's the open source nature of it. It's like a double-edged sword. What makes it good also makes it bad. Because it's open source, a lot of major companies, manufacturers don't want to put their code on the platform.
Yeah, that's right.
I like Jan Lopez says Linux can run Windows games, but it must be drunk with wine. Good one.
That is good.
Well, I wish Linux and the developers the great success with that, but in the past, when things get forked in Linux, things get forked up, as it were. So I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to fly. But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching the Destination Linux Telegram group all week, and a lot of them have been trying out the Windows games. A lot of them are working, some of them are not working, so I believe not all of them they haven't got around to all of them.
Okay.
Obviously, that's Ben's experience as well, so yeah, so that's
the ones they got on their list, I've tried 2 of them, and they worked for me.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they only released like 21 on the list, though, so it wasn't that many. Yeah. But I mean, people have said there's like 1,000 or more that have worked.
It takes a while to.
Well, this project is brand new, right?
Or it is. This week.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I tried Knights of the Old Republic on the single-player version on my HP laptop with both Proton 3.73 and 3.75, which is the latest beta version. I tried both graphics engines on it. Just the game loaded fine, but when I went to hit play on it, I tried it multiple times, didn't want to freaking work, so I just gave up, and I'm going to try on a different machine. And if I could get the same thing, I won't be able to have purely Steam on my machine just yet, because that's one of my top games that I have to have, and if I have to run XP or something in a VM to have that game, so dang what. Because here's the problem, that game does not run very well in newer version of Windows. It'll crash, it'll play for a little bit, then it'll crash. So unfortunately, sadly enough, it just runs best in XP. I don't know why, but for some reason I can't get it to work in newer version of Windows. It's just
I think for Linux to compete with Windows, they need a signature machine and a signature game. Like Microsoft has Halo, Linux needs their Halo.
Yeah.
If it's even possible.
One big game in order for them to take over. And unfortunately, until that happens, they're SOL, my friend.
I think what's going on with Valve and all this, I think what they're doing, they made a list of games, people are playing them. I think this is what's going to happen. That everybody is playing these games and giving Valve their feedback. And I think once Valve has enough feedback, that's when I think we're going to see a change in the storm here.
Yeah.
I think what will really force a change, and we talked about it, if Google really is going to make a mass-marketed Linux desktop, and it doesn't have to be a gaming rig to start off, something for the masses at a $400 price point, that's the sweet spot, in my opinion. Give or take, and it sells, and it's stable, and it works. Now people are going to say, Windows newbies, oh, so that's Linux.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, if Google is going through with this whole closed-sourced operating system called Fuchsia, I think that's going to be a death nail for them.
That's something fairly new, isn't it? So I don't know.
Well, Fuchsia isn't Linux. They're making their own microkernels and stuff for that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to the next topic, staying with Linux. I picked up this refurbished Nexus Gold, if you can see it in the light, but it is gold. 32 gig, I think this was released in the fall of 2015, I think, if history serves me correct. I bought this for two reasons. Number one, this has stereo speakers at the top and at the bottom. Okay, great. And number two, I wanted a pure Android experience without the bloatware. Now, I was able to upgrade this to the latest Android 8.01, I think. No problems. This thing, even today, 3 years later, still zippy. It's fast. I downloaded some apps, played some videos and music. Those stereo speakers like this phone should be standard. At least on flagship phones. You know, you buy $1,000, it needs 2 front speakers. I'm sorry. For $1,000. But the nice thing about this, I hooked this up to my Ubuntu Mate. Bam, it's right there. There's no hesitation, just boom. Why? Because this is a Linux standard.
Yeah.
You know, and bam, the fingerprint reader, I just touch it and it's right there. It turns on immediately. This is the Google Nexus 6P.
Oh, Google Nexus, okay.
Yeah, Nexus 6P, 32 gig. I think they went 32, 64, and 128 gig. This was $130 for a refurb. Almost mint condition. There's a little bit of a crack on the side, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the display. It may have been damaged in shipping. But I'll probably activate this tomorrow, maybe next. I just want to make sure everything works. All the updates work.
How's the battery
on that phone?
The battery, I know there were some issues with a batch of these when they first came out. So far, with all the updates, the battery seems okay. Now, what I don't like about it, it's locked. Not locked in the sense you can't choose to carry it. Locked meaning there's no micro, like an SD card, you know, like the micro card. It's a sealed battery, which means if I wanted to change, you gotta hit a heat here, and you gotta peel this off very gently because this is glass, I guess.
Right.
So you gotta run like a heat gun and take your and peel this off at the bottom. This I don't care as much because this is plastic, and then it pops open with the blade. There's like 4 or 5 screws. But it's sealed, and more and more manufacturers are going to seal phones, and I'm like, that's not user friendly.
Yeah,
that's
not.
But the phone's nice. But the phone is nice. Yeah.
Well, I think part of that is because they're using lithium polymer batteries in a lot of these things, and they probably don't want people messing with them. So
I don't know.
Yeah, because
it could be.
Yeah.
Well, I have a replacement battery for my phone. It comes in a kit. This isn't technically a use replaceable phone, but back panel does come off because your SD card and SIM cards are underneath it there. And there's tiny little tamper-proof screws around the chassis. If you take the chassis out, you can separate that bottom of the chassis, and the battery is inside of that. So with some technical skill, you can replace the battery. It's just
the battery kit for this is like $15-20. Now, from the videos I saw, the screws aren't that. It's just a matter of, the screws aren't special, but it's a special process to, melt the glue, soften it up. Anyway, I'm like, why? Now, I'll tell you one thing. If there was $1,000 smartphone I bought and it was locked like that, I wouldn't buy it.
So if you ever set your living room carpet on fire with a lithium polymer battery, you might know the answer as to why.
I did that once.
Dude, really?
I did, yeah.
I had a scale RC helicopter, one of them scale aerobatic deals with the carbon fiber rotors and everything. Yeah. And I was at the computer and I could smell something, and I looked back and said, what is that? The housing around the charger was melting. Apparently something had shorted out inside of the charger. The battery was all swollen up, so I'm just holding like, that's not good. And right about that time, it started shooting sparks out of the side of it and just blew up.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I like to change my batteries as it's being plugged in, just for some fun, No, I'm just kidding.
If you know anything about the polymer batteries, if you break one open and expose it to the air, there's a chemical reaction, basically burst into flame.
So, once you let the magic smoke out, you can put it back.
I threw the battery and it landed on the floor. So I'm over there stomping on the thing trying to put it fire.
Well, the way I would have fixed that is have some marshmallows ready just to counteract the.
Stomping on this thing. The only thing I'm doing is causing the remaining cells to all blow up too.
Well, you know, as far as the battery goes, as long as it's not a defective battery, I don't think it is. I don't think you'll have any problem if you take your time. Not, you know, you don't want to poke it or expose it to heat, and they do say don't run the heat gun on the battery, you know. But
I will say one thing about battery technology. Battery technology has always been a problem, no matter what phone you have.
that's why I don't believe in $1,000 flagship phones. $500, because I think this started at $500 up to $600. That's fine. And again, I think me and Tom talked about it last week. Battery technology has not kept up, and because of that, I cannot justify a $1,000 smartphone that has all the gadgets, the latest cameras, 5,000 megapixel, and all this stuff, and you might get a day out of it.
Even if the battery though lasts, they're making the batteries last as long as they're making the phones last anyway because of planned obsolescence. They don't want you to keep the phone more than 2 or 3 years. That's why they're not making it with good replacement batteries. Now that doesn't mean they have to. Now,
well, when I say lasting, I don't mean the life. I mean per charge. Yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
That though depends on how you run your phone. I get 2 days use out of my battery easy on my phone because I don't let it sync everything in the background.
And that's actually good. However, if the phone is $1,000, I want the battery technology to last a week because I paid $1,000.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't exist.
Well, there are companies that make an auxiliary battery pack.
Because it's a good phone, $1,000 because it has an Apple logo.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You're paying for the name.
I have one of those right here.
Getting back to what Tom was saying, my daughter, she dropped her iPhone and cracked her screen, and I said, well, that's not good, is it? She said, still working. I said, yeah, but it's almost 2 years old, Dad, so it's time to replace it anyway. I said, really?
Well...
So this goes to show how the young people are thinking these days. They've got them in the mindset that, you know, it's 2 years and, you know, battery's gone and phone's gone. That doesn't matter, buy a new one.
Phone until it stops functioning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. I can't make a phone call with it, and then it's no good.
Yeah.
Well, that's my iPhone, right? I mean, it still works as an MP3 player, but it doesn't connect to cellular networks anymore. I still keep it around for that very purpose. Like, it's better now. It doesn't connect to cellular networks. Woohoo! No chance.
Let's ask Google Assistant a question. Okay, Google. How good is Linux? Silence.
Crickets on the other end.
I know. Oh my God! Thanks.
Gary, how good is Linux?
I'm guessing Alexa didn't want to say anything.
Oh, Siri just did a web search, and that's it.
Yeah, it did it, but it doesn't say.
I remember
She had an answer, I guess.
you could ask it all kinds of ridiculous questions, and you could have fun with it. But now, iPad over there, when I try it now, it just goes to the web.
You know, this got me thinking, what would happen if you put Alexa and Siri on a deserted island?
A cat fight.
Yeah.
Okay, Google. Tell me a joke. Oh my God! Hang on. Let me try it again.
Is that working?
Okay, Google.
We'll sing to you.
You suck.
Riddles.
And it points to a video. There's a video? There's a video on Vivo. Oh my God. Now, talk about accuracy. Wow. Holy cow. All right. I'll give one to Google for that. That was right to the point. Yeah. But I think if I turn on the Google Assistant, then if I say tell me a joke, it will actually tell me a joke. I think I have it turned off. But you got the OK Google voice app, and then there's an extra Google Assistant.
Yeah.
I think that was turned off, yeah.
Google Assistant has a lot more functions than just the Google Now thing.
Right.
Google Assistant, you can have interactive riddles.
Oh, really?
speeds.
Wow.
Yeah, if you ask it to tell you a riddle, it'll start asking you questions, give you riddles you have to solve. It's actually really cool.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm still learning this, but no, I mean for $130, shoot. And from the test reports that I have, I mean, nice vibrant screen, if you can see that. But
that's a really good screen.
From the test reports I've seen, like the new iPhone 10, with the latest cameras, and the Samsung, obviously those are on a scale of 10 to them. Those cameras on a 10 on 10. But you know what? I gotta rate these like a 9.5 or 9.9 based on the photographs.
Good for its age, yeah.
Well, again, it's pure Android. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know.
Is that the last Nexus before they did the Google Pixel? Or was
that
there
is
more?
correct. That's correct. Yeah. And the Google Pixels, those speakers don't come standard. You have to go into the XL2, I think.
Right.
But again, those are sealed phones. There's no expansion memory and a sealed battery. So.
Yeah, and you probably have to go into the XL part of your wallet.
Yeah. Well, they start at $500 also, so it's not too bad. But if you want the bigger one, I think it's $700. I think.
I suppose that's why there's no bloat, because it belongs to Google itself and there's no Samsung stuff installed.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's why Nexus and Nexus always, every time, because I'm running LineageOS on my S5.
And how is that working?
It's pretty good. I have one issue with it. If I put my phone, when I make a phone call, if I put the phone up to my ear too quick, I feel a vibration and it turns off my mic, and people at the other end can't hear me, so I've got to ring them back. So I don't know if that's a bug or what. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Only issue I have, but it runs pretty well. It's quite fast. But
yeah, this thing flies. For 3 years old, almost 3 years, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, like $130. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, Colin, I think yours might be a bug. I mean, mine doesn't do that. I'm running Lineage 15.
Right. Oh no, I'm still on 14. Something I need to do.
I like 14 better than 15. It's just this is a big complaint of mine with Lineage. It's supposed to be open source, take control. They do not have the downloads of 14 anymore, and I liked 14 a lot better. So I went with 15. It's not bad, but I don't remember that ever though as an issue. I mean, I've run.
I need to root the phone again to get 15. To get it updated to 15, I need to root the phone again. But if you say that the 14 it was better, maybe
I like the 14 better. I mean, you don't have the latest security updates, but so what? Unless you're using your phone for highly secure stuff. But
most phones don't get the updates anyway. I mean,
that's the thing. That's the thing. So that's why, like my Nexus costs $100. You can buy one of these for $100. It is the best phone I've ever had.
The only issue, I mean, even though I don't have Lineage myself, but I've heard and did some research on it. The only issue I have with that company is that stupid April Fool's joke they pulled last year.
Just do not push any updates between February and May on Lineage.
I haven't heard of that one before.
Oh yeah. Oh, that caused. I actually got rid of Lineage for a while because of that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What they do?
I mean, the only reason I went back to Lineage is because it worked. I mean, it works.
What did you put on your phone interim then?
I had Copperhead, but they went default.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, can you download? Is there an ISO of just your standard Android you can put back on the phone, or what?
Yes.
There is. Is there? I haven't been able to find that.
Oh, it's on Google Developers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to look at that.
Yeah. No, that's for the Nexus, the Pixel, the Google specific lines.
Okay.
For the other ones, I'm not sure about yours. But yeah,
I think it's available for my Motorola phone too.
I think Motorola does as well.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
I want to. Does that rely on the Samsung bloat as well, or it's just an Android system that runs purely on its own?
For which?
For a Galaxy S5. If you download the Android,
I don't know, because the thing is that every operating system, every phone has. It's not like Linux where I'm going to download Linux Mint and I'm going to put it on my computer.
Yeah.
It's every single phone has its own code name. So like this was called Bullhead, right? And so you have to have a Android specifically built for that model phone. So somebody may have developed a Samsung S9 whatever without the Samsung crapware.
Yeah.
It may exist somewhere, but I don't know.
Because it'd be nice to be able to download a stock Android system without the Samsung bloat, and that updates independently from anything else. Because if you're waiting for your carrier to bring through updates on Android, they're useless, most of them.
Yeah, you're way behind.
They don't bring the updates through quick enough.
Anyway, I don't feel a need to root this because of the stock Android. It feels faster, and it is. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just don't want Google connected to my phone. That's all I do.
So you didn't put the Google apps on yours? I believe actually after a certain ISO for Lineage, you can't get the Google apps anyway, I read.
Oh, no, you can. The phones can't ship with the stock apps. But if you're using it as a personal, you just have to go in and sign in with Google and authorize that you want to use the Google apps, and they'll let you install it for sure. It's perfectly legal. They did something to prevent carriers from basically pirating the Google apps on and getting around the agreements that Google has for using Android. That's what they did. But you can use it as an individual person. You can do it. Yeah.
But what
I also like the Type-C charger in this. There's no more fiddling which way is up. So.
Yep.
Right.
Also, the TOS. If you record video with yours, you can plug in a USB-C mic into your phone.
Oh, really?
Yep. You need to download Open Camera to do it. The stock camera app does not do it. But yeah, that's actually how I recorded video for a while before I got DSLR. Any USB mic, you just need to get a little adapter like this. That will convert your standard USB to USB 3. Costs like $5. And then you can plug that into your microphone, plug your microphone into your camera, and you can record amazing audio.
I tested the internal mic with this. It's not bad.
Any device, since you're using Lineage and you're using that little attachment to use USB-free devices, will any device work with it?
I think it has to be USB 3.
Okay.
I think it's going to support it because it's just the nature of how that particular port works. This USB 3 port is basically designed that the Android phones and any device running USB 3 port, it's USB 3 is USB 3. It can do anything. You can figure out.
Well, I forgot to mention that the absolute best part about this phone, and I can't believe I'm saying this in 2018, headphone jack. Ooh.
That's a luxury.
I got a headphone.
And no notch. No notch.
Really, yeah.
Oh.
What's with the notches, man?
Somebody lost their ever-loving mind.
I don't get it.
Somewhere it's just like, Apple did it. Let's do a notch.
Matt, does Zen have the Zen phone have a notch?
No.
Okay. I think these companies are all notched up in the head, man. I don't know what's going on.
I'm just wondering, why
Osman recently where he was showing all of these new phones that are coming out, and they all are having the notch on. It's like everybody.
There's something to be said for the basics in the phone. Nice screen, stereo speakers, a headphone jack. What's wrong with old-fashioned technology, right?
Yeah, you have a walking jukebox.
What's the notch you're talking about? What's the notch? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The notch is like in this iPhone at the top. You can't really see it probably good in the camera, but there's like a slot at the top for your hearing and stuff. And then when it lights up, well, you can see it probably. Well, this one's just got a bar across the top.
Right.
It takes up space, right?
Yes,
it cuts out of the screen.
Oh.
I've seen some manufacturers trying to get around the notch because they have it there because of the camera technology and stuff. It needs more hardware. I forget the name of the manufacturers. I saw it online as Tech Tips where you turn on the camera and the camera like pops out of the top of the phone. It's like a motor on it.
Well, that was interesting because it turned out that a lot of apps would automatically cause that camera pop up, and it basically showed people which apps were trying to access the camera even when you didn't call it.
Yeah, and way too many.
Yeah, and the thing is that that's not bad, and people had some negative things to say about that concept, but that's not bad. But it's like the notch is unnecessary. All it basically does is it just takes out part of the usable portion of the screen. It just gives you these extra bars on the side because it's not taking more hardware space than this is with a microphone and a camera. I mean, they could have put a notch on that, but they didn't, thank God.
The excuse that they gave is because they're trying to make the phone so thin and borderless that they have to make it that way. But
it's the borderless that they're trying to do. But I don't need the phone to be borderless.
But all you have to do is look at the S7 Edge to know that claim is false. I mean, you don't have to look very far. So.
The one thing I want to know is why are all these companies like removing the headphone jack?
Oh, because Apple removed the headphone jack.
Yeah, and you can buy another accessory that way. That's more expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You got to buy a little $10 or $15 dongle to go in your USB port to get a headphone jack to work.
Well, Apple is still the trendy company, so if Apple does it, a lot of other companies tend to follow. So it's just the way it is.
Basically, for example, Apple's the sheep herder. The rest of the sheep are just going to follow Apple.
Not only that, Apple earbuds have a unique patented thing to them. The Apple earbuds that you get actually have a button to raise the volume up and down on the cable with your earbuds when you get them with the phone. Yeah. And if you go into the store, you'll notice that other companies have bought the rights to put that in their headphones and charge more money for them.
Yeah, and you can buy those. I think Belkin makes one that's like 1/4 the price of the Apple ones that have the button on them too. So if you wanted to get a replacement and not spend Apple prices, you could get one from Belkin.
But the Apple one sounds so much better.
Yeah. Is that because they got a logo on it? Or what?
And the company that makes them, the company is based in China called Placebo. Yes,
they actually changed the shape of them too. They're not round anymore. They kind of just fit right in your ear canal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best sounding earbuds that I've used were the ones that came with my Sony Walkman many years ago. One of those little Sony MP3 players.
These headphones I got on. These headphones are like they're only like $20, but they're Sony's and they're like not noise canceling. You can still hear around you, but the bass in them is really good and stuff like that. And they still make them.
I got these things.
I think I have a set of those in the closet too.
Well, these have a vibration motor in them to enhance the bass. If you crank that all the way up, these things will make your eyeballs vibrate.
So there's no need to smoke weed. You just put down the headphones.
Just put that on and play some death metal or something.
Yeah, really.
Your ears be bleeding.
Oh my God.
Is that what gets you through the 6-hour YouTube videos? Is it, Matthew?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I forgot this also does 4K video too.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
4K is a really good video quality, but I think they're also developing the next evolution beyond 4K, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's 8K or something.
Yeah, 8K.
Jesus Christ.
Like 4K is already too much.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference. When
You know, 4K would be useful like in a live setting, maybe outside to get the full color spectrum and all that, but I can't.
One issue that I have with the high-resolution cameras on modern phones, if I just want to snap a picture of something and send it to somebody, the file is too darn big.
Yeah, right, right. I would have to agree, yeah.
Yeah, if you're projecting something on a large screen, then the 4K or the 8K, that's great for that. But if you're looking at it on your phone, you can't see the difference.
No. Yeah, I don't know why we're bothering with all this on the. I mean, Australian internet struggles with 480p, let alone 4K. I mean, I watch everything in 720p on the internet because it's just a struggle. Really,
right. Yeah, yeah.
I don't watch anything in 1080.
Unless you're full screening the video, like YouTube, for example.
Right.
That box that you're looking at is about 720p anyway. So unless you're blowing it up full screen, 720p is probably fine for most people. So
and probably I would say for most 720 1080p is probably enough. Again, if you're going to go outside like a concert setting, the 4K maybe, I don't know. But they need a heck of a machine to like edit all that.
Speaking of 4K, what would happen if Stephanie Forian had a live concert and it was in 4K?
Those of you who don't know Stephanie, she is a fellow YouTuber friend of ours, independent artist, beautiful voice. We did what was it, August 3rd? She was in for the summer from Germany. She did it from her laptop camera, I think, because I think most of her equipment's still back in Germany where she works. And it was fine because I told her before we started, the main thing is the sound. She sounded great. But yeah, for an artist like that, where you want the full experience, of course her sound, but the sound and her face and everything, yeah, I could see 4K in that. But probably something like that where it's only her in one setting, there's no like disco lights or strobe lights, probably 1080p would have been fine, maybe even 720. I don't know what her camera on her laptop, but
there's a music player device that you can buy that plays the raw studio files for music. So it's not compressed with digital audio MP3s. You're getting the raw studio quality. I forget what that device is called, but like one song in that thing is like a gig and a half.
Yeah. No, I don't think, even if we were capable for us to stream in 4K, I don't think it would have worked. Unless you have I would have to call Comcast to give me the Star Trek speed so I can stream in 4K. Come on, Scotty, more juice, man.
1080
Engage.
Streaming in 1080p takes, I think, 5 up at least, 5 Mbps up, and 1080 or 4K is, I think it's 4 times that. Is that correct?
Yeah,
it take like 20 up.
4 times. So 20. Yeah,
but you're also limited by the speed that it's being served up to.
Right.
Here, I've got fiber optics coming in here, but I still get buffering on Twitch.
Yeah.
And because it's just
I don't think 4K would have worked for us even 4K. We would have maybe tried 1080p. But if we had decent cameras like this Logitech, maybe even 720 would have been fine. But if we could have done it in 1080p, sure, why not? Right?
I think Dan hit the nail on the head when he said, if you're watching, if you've got a projector on a big screen, then that would be absolutely perfect because you're going to get a much better picture on a bigger screen, isn't it? So I think, and if you get a DVD or something like that where you buy it, physically bring it home and put it in, that would be great, right? And I think on the internet, I think they haven't caught up for that.
It can go the other way too. Like I see this happen on YouTube a lot, where people are getting these what do you call them? Those 4K RED cameras to do their YouTube videos, but then it's recorded in 4K, and then they upload it to YouTube, and then it gets compressed down so that it loses quality. So,
but you know what? The ones that I've seen where they've been compressed, at least the ones that I've seen, they look pretty good. They look pretty darn sharp. Yeah,
they're getting better at it. But in the early days of that stuff, if the platform you're intending to upload it to is primarily 1080p, then you should be rendering your video out in 1080p.
I agree.
Also
having it compress it down,
Also take this into consideration. A lot of smart TVs now also have YouTube built into them, so you get the big 60-inch YouTube display.
Well, but I have a Roku.
I do too.
Has Roku built in.
Well, Sneaky Linux is saying in a few years 4K will be the norm. I'm not so sure in a few years, but I think eventually, Sneaky.
True.
Yep, it's
I
on
would
the
have to
horizon
agree.
for sure.
Before I forget, everybody in the comment section, smash that like button. Support every one of these guys' channels. Great content, great people.
Thank you, Ricky. Yeah, we got Switch to Linux, PC TLC. Matthew Moore he's back with Manjaro. I'm not sure why. No, I'm just kidding.
Also, support Stephanie Forian as well.
Yeah, let me grab a link. She was kind enough to give us a free concert and chat for 3 hours because I simply asked her to, and she kind of agreed. So, Stephanie, if you watch this, thank you. She's in Germany doing a tour. Let me post a link here. There you go. If you like her music, buy it. It's that simple. Sweet lady. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. What's the next topic I had? Okay, so we can't agree that $1,000 phones are not somewhat of a semi ripoff. Are we agreeing on that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. There is some Linux Mint news I picked up today. Linux Mint Debian number 3 Cindy has been released. I haven't tested it yet, obviously, but has anybody had good luck with Linux Mint Debian?
Tom has.
I ran it on the VirtualBox. I actually could not get it installed on the main PC the one time I tried. So I'll try it again when I'm done with experimenting deep in. So it'll be a couple months. But
Okay.
I haven't tried the new version, but in my past experience with Linux Mint Debian, it doesn't seem like it gets enough attention. Not the attention that it probably should from the developers. I feel that taking stock Debian and then putting Cinnamon and then the Mint themes on top of it probably end up with a better experience overall. But that's just my opinion.
Now they are using Debian stable as the base, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay.
Linux. I thought you used the testing branch on the Linux Mint.
I don't
maybe.
know. Okay.
I know that's what they used to do.
Well, what? There's unstable testing and then stable? Is that how it works?
Mm-hmm.
3 branches?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and they all have code names. But see, even when they call it Debian testing or unstable, it's really not that unstable. It's actually pretty decent.
Okay.
You don't really get the unstable territory with Debian until you start getting into the experimental branch.
Okay.
Everything else is generally pretty good. Ubuntu, as a matter of fact, pulls their packages in from Debian unstable and testing in their LTS.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If they weren't stable, then of course they wouldn't do that. So.
Okay.
All right. The names of the Debian branches are probably accurate to what they really are.
Well, I'm assuming if it says unstable, it truly is unstable, right? Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it's just as stable as anything else I use.
I don't know. But didn't DT try something unstable and it was a disaster? Live streaming froze or something?
Yeah, he went to testing, I think.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Maybe not, but I think so.
Okay. All right.
But it also depends on how you configure it. If you go from Debian stable to testing, then to unstable or the SID branch, a lot of people make the mistake of fixing repositories. They add the testing and unstable, but they leave the other ones in there, and then you can have a clash of packages.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
That wouldn't work too well.
No, but we do that all the time because it's the easy thing to do, and you can do @pinning on Debian, so it'll automatically pull in whatever the latest package is. So for the most part, you're going to pull from the repo with the latest package. The problem is there are packages in the other repositories and the other branches that aren't in some of the others. So but let's say that you get some libraries from the unstable and testing, but they're not in stable, and vice versa. You might end up with packages from each, and then you'll get library conflicts and stuff. It usually doesn't happen right away, but you shouldn't mix repos on Debian.
Right.
So.
Okay.
I've been thinking about trying Debian because it is, we know, one of the most stable distros in Linux. And I've been thinking about trying Debian and putting some app images and maybe some snaps and flat packs, and I'm pretty sure it would support those because they're meant to be agnostic. And I've been thinking about trying to do that and see how it goes because a stable base and try and use what's in the repos if it's up to date, and if it's not, use a snap or a flat pack or an app image. So
you can use a deb package, and I think Cindy.
Yeah, you can use snaps in there though too, and that just works.
I think a good choice would be using the Debian backports because that's officially supported. So,
yeah, okay.
I will be right back, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
So the backported packages, like for example, if you're on Debian Stable Mind Test, a game I like to play, Debian Stable has an old version. If I want the latest version, yeah, I can install it through snaps, or I could just enable Debian backports and just do the backported package.
Okay.
So I would say, with my experience, unless you just have a thing for snaps, just try to stick to the officially supported repos first.
Yeah.
If what you want isn't there, then move on to these other alternatives.
Yeah, see, I'm partial to deb packages because I can take them from one distro to another and plop them in without downloading them.
It's user friendly. Yeah, it's definitely user friendly.
It's like old-fashioned Windows software.
The one way I install programs on any distro, I do it the old-fashioned way, good old terminal.
Cool. Hey Matt, I have a fun idea for our next project.
What?
A Debian remix.
Oh boy.
What do you think about that idea, Ricky?
Dude, if you wanna do a Debian remix, go for it.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of popular because, it's not something a lot of people generally do, and quite frankly, given the success of our Arch release, I think a Debian release would be kick-ass, personally, because, it's not, like I said, what are you saying, Matt?
I'm more familiar with Arch than Debian, but it might be an interesting project to try.
Yeah, I figured, given you said yourself you're doing a Debian thing after this, I figured might as well tag along for the ride and, give it a shot.
Well, here's an idea, Ben. Besides Debian, you two could also experiment in maybe, a Slackware remix, maybe?
I tried Slackware, dude. It was a lost cause. I mean, Matt, I know enough about Slackware to make.
Well, I reckon we just make our own installer for Linux from scratch while we're at it.
Yeah, really.
Right.
By the way, if we have any, this might be not be the right time, but if we have any newbies in the house, you want to say hello, please do.
Well, here's the thing, Carmine. It's getting close to that midnight hour to where things are going to start getting crazy from here.
Yeah.
I think Ben, Debian's a great idea. I reckon. I mean, Deepin, what Deepin has done with Debian is quite good. But I was trying Deepin this morning. I installed a snap, and it's not working. The hard drive is churning and churning. I've got a error on boot. If I hit enter, it goes to the login screen. It logs in all right, but as soon as you open that snap, it's just churning and churning, doesn't open. So I don't know what's going on there.
Well, Sneaky says Slack for life. Sneaky Linux. Do you mean you're a Slack for life, or are you talking about?
Hey, if you can get away with that.
Anaritas, is 1,000 distros enough? Nope.
The one thing about Debian is, it reached a milestone not long ago. Debian is now 25 years old.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Slackware.
And it still looks the same as it did 10 years ago.
Well, it just works.
What would Ben put up there if he was to do a Debian one? Would it be XFCE or something else?
Mate, man. Mate, come on.
That's up to Matt. I mean, he's the one who typically names the dang thing.
That'll be XFCE then, I would say, because Matt always does XFCE most times.
So you guys have caught a remix bug, huh?
Maybe.
He's my partner, so I don't know if I don't know what he wants to do. I mean,
Well, we could probably let this cat out of the bag. Spatry's IMCO release, Ben has just been recruited to be the official maintainer. So there is going to be a release of IMCO coming up pretty soon.
You know, I can hear it now from Spatry. Come on, TOS, when are you going to get back on Manjaro? I want to say, see these gray hairs? I didn't get this yesterday, okay?
Yeah, TOS, Spatry, you guys got to get back together and do some shows, man.
We probably will.
He's still got his Mumble open. You got to come out and hang out with us.
We probably will. Yeah, I think he's starting next month, but we probably will. I want to thank Stephanie Forian for being a good sport last year, filling in for the news. She was great.
I told you that he's back, so he misses you.
Well, you know what? Have his coffee ready like he needs it.
Goodness, man. Well, he misses you. You're a good friend to him, and we miss having you around.
Well, a lot of people commented, why aren't you doing it? I mean, I got the impression that people enjoy to a certain point what me and Stephanie did, and I just told her, just let me take the lead and you follow, and it was fine.
I mean, it was fine, what you and Spatry did was killer.
It's not the same. I agree. It's not the same. Yeah.
It's not the same without that comical news and nonsense weekly thing that we used to have.
It's not the same. Yeah.
I mean,
it used to be kind of a
project is great, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, it's just that the fact of the matter is that it's not the same as the old couple Linux days. It's really just not. I mean, don't get me wrong. This iPanel thing every week is great, but the problem is, the solo news and nonsense with a different group of people every week. It's just not, the usual 4 group of guys that we used to have.
These days it's less news and more nonsense. So
I hate to say it.
Well, it's to attract a broader audience, like for Windows users who are never going to use Linux no matter what we talk and say, and that's fine. They can relate to throwing in Linux and tech with jokes in real life. Everybody can relate to that. Technology taking over our lives and anti-social media. That's true with any type of OS. So Windows users can relate to that.
It's multi-purpose.
Just to let them know, Linux users are normal people, except the people who use Manjaro. But no,
we're not so geeky. It's
question, TOS. Did you ever get an email from Brian Longduke by any chance?
No, I did not. Maybe I'll send another one, but I haven't.
I mean, the trick is, you got to be darn lucky to be emailed by that guy.
The problem is he has like 1,000 people on his Patreon. He wants to do a live studio audience, and I mean that's a lot of work. I understand, man. I completely get it. But I mean, it would be nice for us to banter back and forth since he called dual booter schmucks.
He's been on their streams like 2-3 years ago, but it was only a one-time deal.
But yeah, if we get together, somebody commented I would kill for a discussion between TOS and Brian. I think that would be one of those, me and Spatcher, where me and him might hit it off. I just have a feeling that we would, or maybe not. I don't know, but
I think it's easier to get Alan Pope on stream than it is to get Brian Lundu.
Yeah, he is busy now. I think his goals were a studio audience and this and that, and I can imagine that's like a 7-day-a-week, endeavor.
That's a lot of work. Yeah.
But that's what he wants to do, and God bless him, But Brian, if you're listening, I challenge you to come on with. Hey, Brian, you got to come on with TOS. Don't make me get the freaking caddy trunk ready, okay? Just kidding, Brian. I love you.
Yeah, Brian's pretty cool. I will say that.
Yeah, don't pull out the cement mixer quite yet.
No, I don't use the cement mixer, man. I mean, all the gas money I spent on that thing in the past, it's heavy.
The only thing that TOS is going to pull out is the Black & Decker leak blower.
Oh, you mean my cleaner for my PCs? Dust remover spray.
Hey, I got a better one. Don't make Ben go grab his lightsaber.
Just make sure.
Just
just make sure, TOS, you don't clean. You're not too close when you use that thing. Else the laptop will be blown away.
Right. Right. Well, I love Black & Decker. Hint for a sponsorship.
Black & Decker's sponsor.
I love Black & Decker.
Yeah, nothing wrong.
All right, let's move on to Windows. For Windows users and Windows 10 users, the next major update is coming in October. It's going to be called, or it was codenamed, Redstone 5.
Redstone 5. God.
That's what it was codenamed. That sounds like a beer. You use Windows?
Sounds like an energy drink.
I know.
Does it come with a six-pack? I mean,
what's up with this Redstone stuff?
Wait, Redstone, where did they get that from? Minecraft?
Yeah. I don't know. That's what it says it was called. It's coming in October. It's as I read this.
I don't know why they these things. I think they should just call it the version of Windows that it is. Like the current version is Windows 10 build 1803. Why don't they just?
Well, is there a city, Redstone, where they're at in the state of Washington? Maybe that's it. Is there a Redstone city? I don't know.
Was it? I think it's Redmond. No, is it Redmond?
Redmond, yes.
Pretty sure they must be naming it after Redmond.
I don't know, but Redstone 5 does sound like a drink. I don't know. You know. Yeah,
I don't know.
drink.
I've been working on Windows 7 while we've been on the stream trying to get things backed up so I can do stuff.
Windows 7 is still good.
I had Windows 10 on here, but because of its adaptive drivers and rolling updates, it suddenly just stopped working with my hardware. So I was forced to roll back.
Wow, I've had pretty good luck with Windows 10 on multiple machines. I mean, I don't use Windows 10 as much as I used to. But
yeah, oddly, Windows 10 hasn't been much of a problem on this tower. But you know, I mean, with all that, you know, hell that I've had with a lot of my games, that I don't really play most modern titles that are AAA based. So, you know, there isn't really much of an incentive for me to stay on Windows that much, really. So, you know, and given I'm currently in the process of moving all my iPhone data to Android, I might as well just say heck with it and just wipe Windows, because the only reason I'm still even on Windows is for iTunes, and I don't really use it that much. So and, you know, might as well jump over to Android. And
I'm drifting away from Apple stuff myself, too. I hardly ever buy anything from iTunes like I used to.
Yeah. And I already downloaded all my iTunes songs into my...
Well, I got this work-at-home tech support application on here. That job requires Windows because of the software they run.
The only Apple product that I own that's left is an old 4th gen iPod Touch and a 6th generation original iPod that I use as a hard drive.
I started on Mac when I first started doing YouTube, but it only took a few years for me to grow out of Apple. I still have an iPad Air, but that's it. I've pretty much sold everything else, and once that thing is pretty much too old to be useful, that'll probably be my last Apple product.
I still have the iPad Mini 2. It's still pretty solid. I don't use it that much, music, but it's still pretty. I'll give Apple credit. It's a solid machine, what they build.
Yeah.
I do like the Mac operating system, though. I do like their
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean, before Steve passed, there was, you know, not a bad Apple device. Computer, mobile device, whatever. But after he passed, after Lion launched, or was announced, whatever you want to say, Apple just really got stingy and stagnant and just not great. I mean, their products started to suck. There was just nothing. I mean, the iPhone 4S, I have to admit, was a great phone. That was the first iPhone I had, and I loved them since. But after iOS 6... it started to plummet. I mean, you know, when Mountain Lion and all that was announced, it
wasn't exciting anymore, it seems.
Well, they kept pushing updates with tons of bloatware in them and changing where they put the settings for things and stuff. Next thing you know, you're lost in your phone trying to make it work.
Yeah, and their updates were broken, too.
Apple kind of lost that wow factor. Like the last couple of keynotes I saw, I watched the thing and I'm just like, that's it? You know, that's all you're...
I mean, you know, there was no bling, there was no bling, there was no nothing.
Well, most recently, this new MacBook Pro that cost like $7,000 that they just released is having thermal issues. It's throttling down below its base clock, just doing normal tasks. And they say, well, it's a firmware issue. Well, there was some warranty cases and some statements made by Apple on the last revision where they admitted that there was thermal issues with that chassis, but they built this new $7,000 computer using the same chassis. To me, the message that I get from that is we don't care about our customers. That's what I get out of their actions, Yeah. So it's...
Yeah, as an Apple phone haver here, I get the same fuzzy feeling from them.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be a big Apple fan back in like 2008, 2009. Apple
warm and fuzzy like a cactus.
I mean, in my opinion, I think if Steve was still alive, Apple would not be in the position that it's in right now.
Well, Microsoft is the same way after they Bill Gates got out of there.
Yeah.
They changed the Windows. They got greedy with the Windows. They want everybody's personal data.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think I dumped Windows for? I mean, and Mac OS. I mean, crap. It's gone to the dogs, and I moved to Linux, and I ain't complaining. So.
We need to have a good old OS burning.
I do have some Apple news. Speaking of Apple, this is from 9to5mac.com. The next iPhone is going to be called the XS. Get it? XS.
Oh my God.
Larger version, gold colors confirmed. Well, I have gold now. Big deal.
Yeah. So
I guess they're going to have these are going to have OLED screens. Nice if they actually work.
Okay.
And 6.5-inch screen is going to be their largest one. That's a big freaking phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I heard that it's not going to cost $1,000 freaking dollars this time.
Yeah,
you're right. It'll be $1,200 this time.
God, I hope not. Did anybody seriously do that at that keynote? Not buying it.
The announcement is September 12th.
Yeah.
Well, one person on the chat there said Kenny, by the name of Kenny, called it Crapple.
Yeah.
He calls it Crapple. So I'm just wondering if that's where the crap chat come from, TOS. Did they invent the crap chat?
Crap chat, yeah. Crap chat, yeah. The crap chat, yeah, right.
I mean, I've never...
It logs everything,
I've never had an Apple product in that, but I deal with them a lot on the job, where people come in to use our photo kiosk and that, and half of them don't know how it works, and when that iCloud gets turned on and they can't find their pictures, it's a mess.
Yeah, I deal with a lot at work too.
Well, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and take off and
all right, Ben. Take care.
Actually, all right, Ben. See you later.
All right, Ben.
Before I go, I just want to announce that my Dell is going to be converted into Ubuntu Unity, and then this machine, and then this tower that I'm on is going to be a Debian XFCE or Mate machine. And that's how I build my Debian thing with Mac.
Go for it, dude.
All right, so I will talk to you guys sometime.
Okay, Ben.
All right,
Ben. Take care, Ben.
Have a good one.
Well, I guess we owe Microsoft a word of gratitude. We were talking about it. It says Microsoft foils Russian attack on GOP. Da, comrade. I guess this really happened. They were trying to hack into the
software the Russians were using probably had a BSOD, and Microsoft just claimed credit.
Yeah.
How convenient.
That's probably what happened.
I would love to be in Russia now. Just say, look, I won't say nothing, but tell me how you guys do it. Just how do you make Americans look like fools? Just tell me,
With that iPhone that you were talking about earlier, TOS, you said that it was going to have a bigger screen, right?
Up to, I think, 5.8 or 5.5 to 6.5 or something like that,
Wouldn't that make the phone then almost the size of a small tablet, maybe?
The smallest tablet is 7-inch, right? Well, they call them phablets, phone tablets, phablets. 6.5 is big. I got a 5.9 HTC Max that barely fits in my pocket. This Nexus is 5.7, but then you put a case on it, Right. But 6.5, jeez.
Yeah, that's not going to fit.
So while we're on the Windows subject, I did do a video on installing Windows last week, and one of my subscribers pointed me to a video from a YouTuber called Tech Yes City. Don't know if you've heard of him. And he did a video on optimizing Windows 10 for gamers.
Okay.
What a great watch. Just the process that he went through of turning off all the background services and that within Windows is just unbelievable what's going in the background.
Yeah.
And what you can turn off is just incredible.
Windows 10 just feels more, feels more bloated. It just, yeah. It works, but I wish it was a little more zippier and faster. But
this makes it a lot more faster with the process that he went through,
I wouldn't mind Windows 10 so much if it would actually work on my hardware. Like you get up, and then all of a sudden your drivers don't work anymore, and it's
yeah.
Yep.
I think besides update optimization, the one other thing that Windows 10 needs, in my opinion, besides a full install, there should be an option for you to do a minimal install to where there's no bloatware at all.
Yeah.
Well, there is a minimal install. It's called Windows 10 Server. If you install Windows 10 Server, you don't get the Microsoft Store. You don't get those apps. You don't get UWP. It's a traditional desktop.
No, the minimal install is Ubuntu.
Microsoft.
Instead of Windows 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Windows made a Windows S for like their Surface, and it was not a full desktop blown operating system.
Yeah, that you can only launch stuff from the App Store.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, it was the same as Windows 8 RT. It was the same idea, and that was I don't know why they thought this would work.
Yeah, it was. It was a complete flop.
So I don't know. I still have a copy of Windows 8.
Well, Windows 8 drove me to look. I've been using Linux full time for probably 5 or 6 years now. My needs are not overly complicated, which is good. But the Windows 8, when it went from 8 to 8.1, my printer stopped working and didn't have any drivers. I could not find a driver for the 8.1, and I said, "That's it. Had enough." That was it for me.
I think Windows 8 was marketed wrong because on a tablet device, I thought Windows 8 was really good on a tablet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So I think they should have marketed it as, because they pushed it as Windows for everybody, like all devices.
Yeah, they tried to merge it too fast.
If they would have marketed it to tablets and be like, hey, this is Windows Tablet Edition, I think it would have been a much bigger success than it actually.
I think you're right. But I reckon that's a spot-on comment there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went to like the Office Depot up here, and when it came out and I was playing with it on the tablets they had on display, and I'm like, well, this is really good. I like this idea. And you have a full-blown tablet that you can access traditional desktop on. This is great. But you put that on a keyboard and mouse desktop, it didn't make any sense.
Right.
No.
And then Windows 10 fixed that problem, but wrecked the tablet experience for those Windows 8 people. So,
yes.
How do we keep our sanity?
But Microsoft isn't known for good marketing anyway, so.
No.
In fact, I'd say they're probably the worst of all of the big companies because no other company is stupid enough to use the exact same name for 2 different products in their line.
Yeah.
Windows 8, Internet Explorer, the app and the program, and they were completely different. Outlook, the mail server and the mail client.
I like their Surface commercials.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Yeah.
Well, just look at the naming conventions they use for their products, like the Xbox and the versions of Windows. I mean, there's like no consistency to their naming schemes at all.
Well, the Xbox One was kind of strange because you went from the 360 to 1. That's like backwards.
Yeah.
Xbox One and 1S, 1X.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if they wanted to get creative, just call it the Xbox Constellation. Ooh,
Or the Xbox Enterprise.
Well, yeah, Xbox Halo or something,
Even on Windows, they went from naming it after like the year it was released, like Windows 95 or Windows 2000, Millennium Edition, and then all of a sudden XP. What the heck does that mean? And then Vista. All of a sudden it's Windows 8 now, and it's like, make up your minds. What are you gonna?
It's like you have. It's like there's a Microsoft board meeting. Hey, what do you want to call it, man? Ooh.
I will say one thing about Windows XP. In my opinion, Windows XP is still one of the greatest out of all the Microsoft operating systems.
Well, it's not very relevant these days, but out of all, historically speaking, it was probably one of the most longest lasting mainstream.
Well, it was,
XP had a lot of problems with bugs too, because it had an awful lot of backdoors.
But the Service Pack 3, the last version, was pretty solid, if I recall.
Yeah, they sealed up a lot of backdoors with that because they knew they had a bug problem.
What other operating system was used in the mainstream for as long as XP was? It was around for almost a decade.
Well, that's an accomplishment,
And in my opinion, the one that goes right next to XP is Windows 7.
Yeah. Well,
that's my favorite is Windows 7. Yeah,
that's mine too.
Look at the numbers for market share and adoption of Windows. The point that we are now from. Like when Windows 7 came out compared to Windows XP, and then you move forward to Windows 10 versus Windows 7, the adoption rates are almost exactly the same. So about the same amount of people are holding on to Windows 7 than XP.
Yeah, and another thing is, as for Windows Vista, Vista would have been good if the hardware was ahead of itself.
Yeah, well, there's technically two different versions of Vista. There was Longhorn, which they were originally working on, and if you've ever gone into the old archives online, you can find these demonstrations. The original design for Longhorn actually looked really good.
It did.
But then they decided at the last minute that they didn't want to go that route, and they rewrote the whole darn thing in Vista.
I think Longhorn would have been a great operating system. I mean, they took the XP architecture and made it so much better. It looked really nice.
Yeah, it's never good to pull an all-nighter on your operating system. Yeah.
That's true. No, that's not a good idea at all. Actually, there is a bit of a myth about Vista because it has a bad name. So a lot of people say it was one of the worst ones, but I believe I've seen people say Vista was good, just didn't work on the hardware because the hardware wasn't strong enough for the operating system.
Well, there's a rolling thing with Windows. Every other version is crummy. You get a good version, and then the next version is crummy. Then you get another good one, and then after that goes down the toilet again.
Like Star Trek movies.
Yeah, it seems that way. Well, I will say Vista opened my eyes to how terrible they can market something. But,
I mean,
Vista was visually appealing. I think.
It's visual appealing, yes, but in my opinion, for workflow and desktop management, if Vista was released when the RAM hit 4 gigs or higher, it would have succeeded.
I had a machine that said Vista compatible with less than 1 gig of RAM. It wasn't.
Oh my God!
That's true. No, 2 gig. I think 2 gigs was the minimum what Vista needed, but it was coming out. It was coming out at a time when half a gig was your common computer.
I remember that sticker. Oh, then I'll buy this machine. I'll get ready for the future.
I mean, Windows Vista was released around 2007.
I'll never forget that. It was a great laptop, but that's when I should have used a caddy trunk back then.
I was like, this is actually why I will not buy any HP products. I was working on my dissertation, and the computer that I had died. It was an old XP laptop. So I got to the store and I get, what I could afford as a graduate student, which ended up being a low-end compact. And it was running Vista and half a gig of RAM. And I have to load Photoshop, like the entire CS2 suite on it to do the dissertation with everything else. And then, of course, the university had this insane application they made us use as a macro pack for Word. It was just a giant nightmare. The computer never worked out of the box, mostly because it had no RAM. So I sent it back, and they're like, no, we can't take this back on warranty. It looks like somebody had dropped it. It's like, well, maybe it was thrown around by the box store because it never worked out of the box the day I got it. You know, and they're just like, oh, let's do this. So it's just like, screw it. I'm just never going to, like, I just tell people completely avoid HP because it's the hardware is okay, but they have support it.
Right.
So, no.
I've had HP for years. It's one of the companies that I avoid. So.
Well, HP stands for help, please.
HP kind of went down the drain a bit when they just started moving into computers. They, you know, they were fine. They made great printers until they started to make computers, and all their products suffered because of that.
I mean, when it comes to computers,
pretty well in the enterprise. If you go on to they have two different websites. They have the website that sells their consumer products, and then they have one for their enterprise products. Their enterprise workstations are rock solid machines.
Yeah, the enterprise stuff is good.
It is.
The HP branded hardware was good. The Compaq branded hardware was not when they bought Compaq.
Yep, that went downhill.
Yep. And I think that dragged the whole thing down.
I think in this day and age, if you're looking for some good computer companies, I think the two that come to mind, and TOS knows where I'm going with this, Lenovo and Dell.
Those are my two picks right now.
Dude, you got to get a Dell.
Dude, it's a Dell.
I remember all of them commercials.
I mean, ever since the founder of Dell came back into the picture a few years ago, Dell has been doing very well. They're a really good company.
Yeah, I heard their service is decent.
I'd say Dells from like early mid 2000s were crap, but stuff that's coming out right now
well. The reason why Dell wasn't doing well in the mid-2000s is Michael Dell stepped away from his company for a little, but in 2011 he came back and he bought his company back. And he took Dell he took Dell private.
So when he left, Dell went to hell, but then he had to come back to take it out of. Okay, got it. Understood.
If you look at the consumer level products, Acer's their new products coming out now from Acer are pretty good too.
Acer and Asus are doing very well. Alienware is kicking butt.
That's a Dell product, I believe.
Yeah, that's Dell. Yep, Dell bought them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That's all their gaming computers, isn't it?
Yep.
And then,
don't they start like 2,000 or 3,000 and up or something like that?
They're
the
very
laptops
expensive.
do.
Well,
the laptops are extremely heavy too. You can use them for a weapon.
Yeah.
I like to support some of the smaller companies too, like Falcon Northwest. I think they have some good products. There's a local company near me called Velocity Micro. Some of their stuff's pretty.
Okay.
I forget what it is. I think HP bought them out, but they had those Firebird gaming machines back in the early 2000s. Those things were monsters. But yeah, I think Velocity Micro originally developed those, and then they were bought out by HP.
I will say one thing. There's one company. I mean, they don't do computers as they used to, but there's one company that I wish would come back and make one final computer. I would like to see IBM come back and make another computer.
Well, basically,
IBM's Lenovo.
Lenovo.
Lenovo is IBM, basically.
They got sold, was it 8 years ago or something?
Yeah, but they still retain the original ThinkPad design. They're incorporating it into their new. I forget the model of it, but it's one of their retro machines.
The thing about the ThinkPad is that's IBM's baby, and to think that the ThinkPad has lasted for over 20 years, it's a really good machine.
I got 3 of them, and they are solid freaking machines. Yeah.
This Dell Latitude here is based off of the ThinkPad. If you look at it, if you cover the label, you'd swear it was a ThinkPad. So it's very, it has a crack point on it. The only thing that's different is it doesn't have the blue enter key.
I mean, between every laptop, the ThinkPad has seen every type of era you could throw at it. It's seen the Windows XP era, the 95 and 98 era. It's even seen the era we're now, which is the Windows 10 is crap.
You know,
era.
I just had a thought. I should have scrolling lower thirds. I would like to be sponsored by Dell, Lenovo, Pepsi, Google next, and just go on and on.
Yeah.
There's one company
Ubuntu.
that make good computers, but nobody ever talks about them. That's Panasonic. You know, Panasonic.
They make tough books.
The tough
Yes.
books, yeah.
We use them in my work environment.
Do they still make the tough books?
I think so.
Oh yeah,
they do. Oh yeah.
they cost a fortune.
I actually have a
too.
Panasonic fan, a oscillating fan for like 25 years, still works.
So,
In the shop, we use the tough books as the diagnostic computers that we run.
Yeah, that's what we use
Right.
them for.
the one thing about tough books is that when you close them up, you could have sworn it's a luggage case. And I know where they got that design from, because there were a couple computers in the 80s that pretty much emitted that design, like Osborne, for example. They were one of the first companies to invent that type of design.
But in the shop environment where we were using them, they took a beating. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about tough books, they're very difficult to break. Those things are tough, almost like Nokia's phones.
Yeah, you'll find them in a lot of police cars.
And speaking of Nokia, I mean, they're coming back with a new phone after several years.
They look sharp, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, the tough books aren't very powerful. They don't have a lot of high specs in them. But
No.
I mean, you could basically chuck it off the roof of your house and it'd be just fine. So, yeah.
Just put that thing on a catapult and just see how far.
really.
How far.
Well, there are some YouTube videos, torture testing the tough books, and they had that. I think they ran over it with an SUV, threw it off the roof.
That's cool.
So if you have an argument with your spouse and she throws a Panasonic tough book, then you go, yeah, go ahead, sweetie. Go, give it your best shot. And then she bips you in the head. Oh, that hurts. Anyway, all right, it's midnight here, so we're going to wrap this up here about 5 or 10 minutes. I got some nonsense news that we can finish up. Nonsense, here we go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Want to thank everybody here in the live chat as usual. Again, to our friend Tim F. Tim, I hope you're feeling better. I guess you're coming home today from what we heard. So, Tim, my friend, be well.
What's wrong with Tim?
He was in the hospital, I guess. I didn't know. Heather mentioned it.
Really?
That's why I haven't seen him. Yeah, normally he's my co-host, for these, so I'm not alone.
That's right.
But no,
You're not alone, TOS. You're not.
I know. But he's usually my backup if something happens. But he hasn't been on, and now I know why. So Tim, I hope you're feeling better. I'm not sure what went on, but
get better, buddy, and everybody. Remember to support all these fine people here and smash that like button.
okay, Ricky, thank you. Let's go.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Tim.
Yeah,
Feel better, Tim.
Yeah, Tim, get back to us.
absolutely. And I think Tim's got a couple of Chromebooks, if I'm not mistaken. He swears by them. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Tim, you got to get back so I can blow your ears off again. Right? Just turn that volume down about halfway through my second news segment.
Yes. Just wait till he hears Spatry again. Oh, right, we're back. I mean, he should be like a sportscaster for the goal, but anyway, looking forward to Spatry. Okay, so this is just this oddball news. Let me just read some of the headlines, then we'll go from there. Now, this is kind of ironic. Reindeer escapes Russian zoo, runs loose through city. Now, wait, Russians. You can hack an election, but you can't keep a freaking deer in the zoo? How does that... Hey, Oleg, I thought you closed the freaking door. Look, it escaped.
It was a Russian deer, to be fair.
It just says reindeer escapes. I didn't know Russians have reindeer. I guess they do.
Oh, yeah, they certainly do.
Okay, all right. Anyway, all right, next one. Speaking on the animal thing again. Trapped bear rescued from trash bin in California.
What?
Trapped bear. Now, how do you save a trapped bear rescued from a trash bin?
I think I saw that. He put his head to the side of it.
Well, there's a picture. I think this is one of those huge, metal trash bins. He's trying to get out, and he's I guess he's slipping. So,
what I saw was different then.
I guess the bear could barely take it. Let's see here. Oh, this is funny. Police officer chased by tiny pig on Florida street. Oh my God. Okay.
All I gotta say is sweep.
Yeah, right. News from Las Vegas. Las Vegas Museum features 24-foot bong. Smoking. Okay.
You said bong?
Bong.
Yeah.
Isn't that a long joint, right? The bong.
No,
B-O-N-G.
bong is that thing with the water in it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
Long
okay.
pipe and it
Oh, that's
full
right.
smoke. I mean,
Yeah,
usually
that's
made out
right.
of clear plastic or something.
Well, it's just this.
Examples, if you want.
Anyway, this one's 24 foot.
That's wow.
I'm not sure how that would work, but okay. Well, first you would do this, then go to the bong. Okay, all right,
That
got
you
it.
do that with the bong.
Yeah.
It'd be like waterboarding.
The bong's
though.
got a little pipe bowl at the end of it.
Okay,
I really hope you weren't planning on monetizing this.
I just lost it.
Demonetized.
That's why. Thank you, all my PayPal, Patreon supporters. Please. No,
Wondering why
but,
Dad knows so much about bongs.
yeah, really, bong.
Is that
Okay.
called Church and Chong? Is it Toss?
Cheech and Chong, Cheech and Chong. Hey man, you got the bong, Cheech? Ow, that hurt my throat.
It's 20 feet long. I can't move it.
Church and Chong.
Woman finds bear swinging in backyard hammock. Oh, how cute.
Pictures.
Just take a snooze.
This is all real stuff. Yeah, at least
What's
that's
with
what
all
it's.
the bears? What's going on with
I don't know, man.
Well, I'm guessing Jellystone Park must have been overridden.
Yeah. I guess we're on the monkey or like animal story still train here. Monkey forces its way into store, steals snacks.
Bananas aren't good enough.
I guess not.
Yeah, go for the junk food.
Let's see. Zoos escaped wallaby back home after van strike.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Van strike.
A lot of animal stuff, yeah. Let's see. Missing monkey. Missing monkey turns up at McDonald's in Sweden.
Where did
Now,
you
I would
start
like
out?
to know.
I wonder. Yeah, right.
How did the monkey get on the plane? Well, no, I don't know. But
Well, I'm guessing the monkey wanted a Happy Meal.
yeah, ha, ha,
I
ha.
guess.
All right. Police find 147 pounds of cocaine hidden in pineapples.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. No wonder the sales of pineapples went up lately.
No wonder you can't find them in stores.
That is one way to store that
I know.
stuff.
I know. Hey, Jose, man, you got the freaking pineapples. Bring them over here, okay? No, but UPS delivery foiled by bear in driveway. Are the bears going to take over?
I've not heard that excuse yet for the UPS guy.
Yeah,
but,
really.
you know.
Yeah, Tom's favorite there.
I think the bears are freaking taking over. I know what's going on.
Yeah,
The problem
The bears.
is my neighborhood just shut.
I'm guessing
All right.
I'm guessing the bear must have watched Tom's UPS rant.
Is that what it was? Okay. All right. Escaped goat wanders through Virginia town. What a horrible thing to call your wife. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Squirrel enjoys slice of pizza by hotel pool. Why not? You're on vacation, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had some of those pineapples on it, Toss.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A golfer takes shot over black bear's head.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
What if you hit the bear? I mean, they run pretty fast for big animals, don't
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to anger it. Yeah.
they? Yeah,
You
really.
better have a few more golf balls lined up.
I know, with a rocket launcher to boot. Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else here?
Well, I'm guessing that golfer had to grin and bear it.
Okay. Here's another bear story. Rangers searching for bear with canister stuck on its head. It looks kind of funny, actually, too.
Hey, boo boo.
Yeah, Daddy Oogie. What are
I got picnic basket stuck on my head.
What are you doing with that canister, boo?
I don't know. Maybe it's Bear Day. You know, like Father's Day, Mother's Day. It's Bear. I don't know. Let's see if there's a few more here, and we'll wrap it up. But
I saved one for you during the week too, Toss, that I wanted to read to you because I thought of you straight away when I seen this one.
Oh.
You want me to say it now or wait?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, this is one that I found that says, when you enter this church, it may be possible that you hear the call of God. However, it is unlikely that He will call you on your mobile. Thank you for turning off your phones. If you want to talk to God, enter, choose a quiet place, and talk to Him. If you want to see Him, send Him a text while driving.
Of course.
Oh, man.
Yeah, really.
That was a post I found in church in France. So that was a very interesting. Yeah.
That's clever. That is clever. Yeah.
Very clever. Yeah.
We were talking about printers. New printer uses sound waves to shape ink droplets.
What?
That's pretty wild.
So does that mean there's sound waves? So that means if you eat a lot of Taco Bell, your printer won't stop. But
Well,
that sounds actually very interesting. Sound waves. Just a
I
thought.
guess you're getting a noisy printer.
Noisy, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And right, and it prints out, stop farting, stop farting, stop farting. No. Anyway, that's all I have for the nonsense part of this. So, all right, we'll give this a 5-minute warning in the chat. If we missed anything, now's your chance to say something in the chat. So, we need a Bear distro. Why not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have nothing in it.
I'm not sure I can hear it.
Yeah, really.
It'll have nothing in it, Toss.
Because it'd be barely, yeah, right.
You could have a distro called Bear Claw OS.
Well, wasn't there a Hannah Montana distro way back when, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's also a Rebecca Black one.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Next
I think
thing,
Justin
we
Bieber
have a
one as
comment
well.
saying beer distro would be better. Nice. That's one for Bitwise 1024. That's one for you.
Would that be free as in beer?
Yeah.
Up. Exactly. Let's see in the chat. If I missed anybody in the chat to say hello all. And goodbye all soon. Yeah, I'm going to play a little more of my Nexus 6P, make sure everything works. I get like a 30-day guarantee on it to ship it back. So, but if you're going to take a look at a 6P, they did have battery issues apparently with some batch of them, a certain amount. So this one seems okay, but I can't go wrong for $126, whatever I paid for it.
no, that's a good phone.
Yeah.
No, seems good.
Yeah, so I'll have to play with the Google Assistant to tell me a joke this time, you know.
Did you ask them to sponsor you?
You know what? Hang on a second. Let me try it. See
Oh
what
my
it says.
God.
Okay, Google. Will you sponsor me? Just web pages. Okay, all right. But see, I haven't turned on Google Assistant, and that's where the real fun starts. I'll have to try that, and maybe do it
Okay,
next
Google, beam me up.
Energize.
Nice. That's the assistant saying that? The Google Assistant? Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Beam me up.
No,
Oh wait, Steve's gone. Come back. No, just kidding. Cool. You know, it's amazing what technology can do today with these little gadgets. When you think about it, you know, who would have guessed this 20 years ago? I would have said, forget about it. You know.
Yep.
You know.
It's like having a mini computer in your back pocket, isn't it? At the end of the day.
20 years ago, I was living in Florida. I mean, this was the last thing I had. My first phone was an NEC. It was like half a brick. You know.
Yeah, you didn't really carry it with you all the time.
No.
The one I had was in a bag.
Yeah.
The bag phone.
From the days of Miami Vice TV series, I know.
Yep.
That's 20 years ago. I was thinking of the beach, tennis, swimming, barbecuing around Christmas, but I'm looking at the ticker. Online trolls and fake accounts poison Arab social media. Ooh,
oh my.
Not good.
No, it's not.
No.
I actually seen a post on Facebook, I think during the week, had a picture of someone said their dreams had been broken because they'd seen the guy broken down on the side of the road and he couldn't get his car started. That was a funny one.
No, that's pretty good.
Let's see. Oh, the latest Ubuntu podcast is up. Check it out. I haven't listened to it yet. Those are fun to listen to. 30 minutes, right? It's about the right length for a podcast like that. So, Apple records first ever accident in self-driving car program. I think they hit an apple tree. No, I'm just kidding. But,
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it says. First ever.
This
was, where was this?
So Apple's getting into this whole autopilot vehicle thing as well.
The Apple vehicle, a Lexus SUV. Oh, come on, Apple! Don't damage a Lexus. Damage a Chevy or something. Come on.
Well, it wasn't Apple. It was a human driver rear-ended it.
Is that what it was? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So it wasn't Apple's. They tried to make this article sound sensational, like Apple's vehicle caused it, but no. They were saying the first Apple vehicle wasn't an accident, but it was.
Yeah, that was clickbait.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't click to read it, so part
No,
of it's
no,
my
but I'm
fault.
just saying, yeah,
the title, yeah.
Clickbait.
Boeing wins bid to build the Navy's first carrier-launched tanker drone.
Really?
A tanker drone? Well, I hope it doesn't tank. Okay, well.
Sounds a bit odd.
Yeah. Ubuntu 18.10 won't include Android integration after all. Come on, Ubuntu. No, I didn't even know.
Oh my God.
They were planning on Android integration, really? And that would be kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
Have they got an extension for that? Have they for Android, or it's the?
I don't know.
There's a few Linux distros that can run some Android stuff. I'm not sure if they're true Linux or not, but probably are. But yeah, there's a few distros out there already that do that.
Some that's called Connect something, isn't it? It's forked from the one in KDE Plasma, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think there's one for GNOME. I'm not sure what it's called though.
Yeah, there's one for GNOME. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if Ubuntu was going to do Android integration, the thing that's going on is, why don't you just do it and make everybody happy in the process?
Well,
They're going to stall around with it and then decide how to spend the money.
Mills says, did I see the Tesla car go airborne? Yes, I did. A guy, where was it, Mill? I think it was in the States, right? They had, I think it was nighttime or dusk, Mill, right? And they had security cameras from a restaurant or a store pointing towards the street. And if I saw it off the corner here, this car goes flying off the railroad tracks. I guess he was going over 100. He hit that, that ramp, whatever, and he goes, I mean, literally, I didn't know Teslas could fly, but this thing goes. I mean, he lifted like a Knight Rider show, Yeah, I guess the driver was okay. That was very lucky. Was he drunk or was he mad at Arch and got into his car and left? But no. I'm sick of Arch. No, just kidding. But no, I did see that. It was scary, but I guess he's okay. Yeah. There's one orbiting the moon. They can fly. Bitwise, nice joke there. Okay.
What, a Tesla orbiting the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it on a rocket.
Yep. They launched it into space.
Didn't they? Yeah, yeah,
months ago.
yeah.
They got a spacesuit sitting in the driver's seat.
Wow.
I just want to know what Elon Musk put in the trunk of that thing.
Well, he's sticking for the future because one day when we build highways and build cars on the moon, he can say, "Hey, I was here first."
And it's a convertible.
Yeah. We'll have to what's that word to make like a planet air breathable terraform. Terraform. Yeah. You know. But you know, here we are
can't
laughing
hold my
about
breath that long. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I won't hold my breath for that story.
On that one, because if we have the technology to terraform another planet and turn Mars into Earth,
yeah,
we have the technology to turn Earth back into Earth.
Yeah, really.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Have you guys seen that garbage, the Pacific garbage patch dump?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Look at it. I mean, it is disgusting, and it's a shame. But I guess now they're gonna try and clean it up with this big, like, super long vacuum cleaner thingy. You know, I mean, what is it? A Dyson or something? You know.
Yeah.
But, I hope they can pull it off because it's a shame. Actually, it looks bad.
I mean, when people start dirtying up our environment, it gets real bad.
It's the plastics. They don't degrade. It's What's wrong with people?
Well, they're getting rid of straws. They're trying to get rid of straws now. Is that happening in America, or is that just Australia at the moment?
I haven't heard that here.
America, Disney stopped using straws.
Well, California just passed a law about it last week or 2 weeks ago. That it is now a stiffer penalty for a waitress to give you a straw without you asking than it is to knowingly pass HIV to somebody. So in the law, if you are a waitress and you give somebody a straw without them asking for it, it is punishable up to 6 months in jail and $1,000 fine.
So what did they do? Take a straw poll and?
So this is hilarious. So Starbucks, their answer, because it's plastic straws. So now Starbucks is getting around this by giving everybody paper straws wrapped in big plastic, which is perfectly legal.
Right.
Interesting.
Well, because the reason for this is because a lot of turtles have been getting straws in their nose, and it's very, very painful. If you watch a video of that, it's really bad to remove that straw. So this is why they're trying to get rid of straws.
Makes sense. Okay.
I still think, though, that knowingly giving somebody AIDS should probably be a more punishable offense than giving somebody a straw.
Yeah.
You know, and
so the turtles, man, the humor is done.
Back on the Earth thing, I mean, I think they spend more money messing around in space than what they do in trying to fix the planet that we're on in the first place.
Well, I mean,
ridiculous.
You know, maybe this might be for like a different topic or like a different night for this topic rather. But I think space exploration technology to me is fascinating. But Carl Sagan, the late great Carl Sagan, who passed away in late 90s, you know, he wrote the movie. He wrote the book Contact. It was made into a movie. But he made a statement. I think it was him, and it makes sense. 20 years later, he says, "You know what? We go up in the space shuttle." And we do experiments on the growth of, you know, like plants and bees, and come back and we call it space exploration. That's not space exploration. Send people to Mars. Now that's exciting, and that is exciting. So you make a point, but you know, to discover these exoplanets that may have life, to see super high def pictures of Mars, and to see stuff on Mars, so-called pyramids that may not be those kind of structures, to me is pretty exciting stuff, you know. But you make a point. Let's fix Earth first and then go to space, you know. So
let's be able to make phone calls from one suburb to another.
Yeah, really.
Let's get that down pat before we can send high definition from Mars to Earth. You know, seriously. I mean, if the technology is that good, they can send high definition pictures from Mars. Why can't we get simple technology working in our own backyard?
I agree. It's the allocation of resources, corruption, stupidity. It all adds up, Colin. I would have to agree. but I still find space exploration fascinating. You know,
I do too.
and that's why Star Trek is so popular, Star Wars and science fiction, because it's the imagination, it's the possibilities. You know, it isn't just that, but the possibilities. You know, 20 years ago, the possibility of an internet. You know,
And it's
I mean,
first technology.
It is.
You know, not to mention the invention of Tang. You know, the orange drink.
Yeah, that's great.
Tang.
Back in '79, I think, right? The powdered orange drink.
Wow.
I remember that as a kid. I was a little kid then, but I remember that. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, Tang,
we had
right?
that as well. Yeah. Tang. Jeez, that's
Tang
going
or
back
Nestle's
20 years.
Quick.
Does that still exist? I don't think so, eh? Tang?
No, you can still get it here, I think.
Wow.
Can you?
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
It's still around. I mean, it's still around.
Yeah, it's not as popular, but I think I've seen it in the store.
There's a
Have
great
some Tang to wash down your Vegemite.
There's a great thing. Tang, the drink for Linux power users. Tang. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm ready for Betty Bye here.
Yes, so am I.
Everybody have a great weekend. It's a holiday weekend. Be safe as usual. I might be on again this weekend. I don't know if Tim F sends me an email, we'll be on for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, buddy.
All right.
So, Maz, good seeing you again. So, you know, keep in touch, and everybody here, everybody in the chat too. All right. Have a good weekend. I'll catch you guys later.
All right.
All right,
Everybody
see
take
you
care.
later.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.
Take
Good
care.
night, everyone. See ya.
See ya.